Hello Steelers and welcome to another Bench Report hobby update. I've been quite busy this week with work and stuff. I'll talk about that in a second. So I've not had a huge amount of chance to paint a lot of stuff this weekend, but what I did do though, I managed to finish off the French skirmishers and commander, and also an artillery gun as well from the sprue of French infantry that I painted the other week. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to paint each sprue individually and just get all the bits done, especially for the infantry anyway, because there's only a couple of bits left over at the end when you've painted the sprues from Warlord. So these are the epic scale ones. So these are just going to be added in, just little extras here and there. Always useful to have skirmishers, especially for the French. Always useful to have the commanders as well. The only thing I wish the commanders had different poses, but what I'm going to be using is some French, some cavalry commanders later on, or just spare cavalry figures as well as commanders, just to mix it up a little bit, just to make things slightly mid. And I know you can get some sets of different commanders as well for the epic range, so I might invest in those at some point in the future. We'll see. Right now I'm working on just getting through those box sets. The other thing I painted as well though was from the Bolt Action box set the Warlord sent. This is the SDKF Z222. This is from the Gentleman's War box set. I painted this over the week. Really nice model actually, went together really well. There's a couple of issues with the numbering on the sprues and on the actual instructions. There's no numbers on the instructions, but it took a little while, but I managed to get there and actually figure out how to get the thing put together. But there was a lot of dry fitting beforehand. But I did enjoy it though, and it was a really nice little model, a 156 scale one, so it's basically 28mm one that came in the Gentleman's War box. I've actually also made a video about making this as well, so all the weathering techniques and things in there, and I'm just, at the moment I'm just in the middle of editing that, so that will be out in the next few weeks, I would have thought, so keep an eye out for that, but it is coming and incoming soon, because my video, my amount of videos has really dropped off since moving and things, so I'm trying to build up a bit of a backlog. I've got a little bit of time off work coming up, so I'm going to create a few videos just to create a backlog for myself, but right now it's a little bit like squeaky bum time. I'm not sure, you know, next few weeks are covered, but after that I've not been in this position for a long time, so it's interesting to live through. The reason I didn't paint a huge amount is because from Sunday through to Tuesday I was away for work. We had a work meeting, so I went down to Winchester. We had a meeting down there in the Rifles barracks, and then we had a look around Winchester itself. While we were in the barracks, we actually went into the museum as well. There's a couple of museums in there. There's a Gurkha museum, and I think just a military history museum as well, but there's also the Rifles Museum, the Green Jackets Museum, and we went in there and had a look around quite quickly while we were in there, mostly concentrating on the 19th century section, and mostly concentrating on the Waterloo and First World War sections as well. There is a huge Waterloo diorama in there. It's all done by the looks of it from Airfix figures, from what I could work out, and it's massive, and it has a really good description of the battle. Just shows you there's a light show that it just works through, and I think it's probably the biggest Waterloo diorama that I've seen, including the one at the Waterloo Museum in Waterloo itself, the new museum. I think it's much bigger than that. I couldn't even tell you how big the thing is, but it's lovely. It's really nice, looks fantastic. And yeah, spent quite a long time. I did actually make a short video about that. This is on the channel. If you go and check out the shorts playlist, you'll find it on there. But obviously I'm also showing you some of the photos from the museum itself. Really good museum. There's quite a lot in there. We're very impressed by it, and it was only £5 to go in as well, which obviously goes to a good cause. First World War section was pretty good as well, some interesting weapons that had been captured, and then it takes you through the story of the Rifles up to modern day as well. If you're in Winchester, if you're around that area, definitely go and check it out, because it is worth it, and I thought I got a lot out of it, definitely. And yeah, the other stuff that's happened this week, really, I suppose the big news is the new Wargames Soldiers and Strategy magazine came through, number 129, with a article by myself. I wrote this one, Through the Mud and the Blood and the Trees. This is a scenario for Through the Mud and the Blood and also Cocking Up the Mud and the Blood, but it does tell you elsewhere, adapting it for other rule sets as well, such as Blood and Valour or Warhammer Great War. Just explains, a few extra bits in there. But this is a scenario based on the Battle for Bourlon Woods, 1917, during the Battle of Cambrai, where tanks were used. And it's a game that I played virtually ages ago with a couple of people. I can't remember exactly who played it, but I know James Manto did from Canada. A couple of other people played as well. We played it during the virtual LARD sessions that we had when the country was in lockdown and nobody could go anywhere, so I set it up virtually and played it. And I think if I remember correctly, there's a battle report somewhere on the channel as well. I did a battle report of this scenario as well. But yeah, I wrote this a little while ago and sent it into Guy, the editor. He approved it, and there it is. My name in lights, fame at last. So it's quite chuffed to actually see my name in a magazine. I have written a couple of other articles as well for WSS. Hopefully they'll get published at some point in the future. And I'm thinking about other ones as well that I can send in and hopefully get published in future. So if you're interested, it's number 129. It's the most recent one. You can get it in paper copy. You can also get it in PDF copy as well. I will put a link to WSS Magazine down below in the description. And on top of that, last Sunday, played a game of Root with my wife just before I went down to Winchester. We'd not played it for a while. She took the cats, I took the birds, she took the birds, I took the cats, and she absolutely handed my arse to me, even though she continually said, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how to play this game, I don't know what's going on. But it was a great game, really enjoyed it, yeah, good fun, and I just got absolutely battered. The other thing I played this week as well is Dex and I finished off our final scenario of the second part of the Kursk pint-sized campaign down at the club. We've been playing this for quite some time now. We played through the first part of the pint-sized campaign, and we're now playing on we've then finished off the second part of it. So in total, 12 games in total. He was playing the Soviets, I was playing the Germans as the attackers. This was the last one. It was an attack through a village, a defender attack scenario. Germans had to capture the bridge, the Soviets had to hold it, and my God, was it brutal. It went right down to the wire. It was actually, he said afterwards, mad, mutually assured destruction. Basically, he'd ambushed me 3 times with his Soviet engineers with flamethrowers, but each time they did the minimum amount of damage. They really didn't hit me as hard as he was hoping and I was worrying for. And it really went down to the wire, and it came down to the last close assault. He charged in, he wiped out my section, but I wiped out his section at the same time, apart from 1 man, and both of our force morales dropped to 0, which meant that in the rules of the game, his force morale dropping to 0 basically meant he lost the scenario, and I won. I think it was a major German victory because I managed to finish the scenario, the campaign in 6 turns. But absolutely brilliant game, really enjoyed it. Whether I won or lost, it was so tense and so nail biting right up until the very end. I went in there being very confident, and it was suddenly reversed because of a few mistakes I made here and there. But yeah, it was brilliant, really good fun. We are going to look at the Malaya campaign for the next one, which is it's in one of the old Lardy magazines. Quite a while ago, I think about one of the 2015 specials. I can't remember exactly which one, but it's in there somewhere. If you find the index, you'll find it. I've played through it before on the channel a long time ago, but we're going to play through it this time. Dex is going to take the Japanese, I'm going to take the Australians. And it's basically just to give him the upper hand in this one, because the Japanese have got such big sections and a lot of men, and they get fresh platoons every time, whereas the Australians, I have to hang on with basically grim determination. But I'm looking forward to that. It's been a nice chance to get some of the terrain out as well for bits and pieces. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are with the gaming. That's pretty much where I am with everything else. I'll kind of wrap up there. I will say again, you know, if you want to buy the SDKFZ or any of Warlord's products, please use the affiliate link that I've got down here in the in below. It basically gives me a little kickback every time anybody buys anything. Doesn't cost you anything, but you know, helps me help out the channel with a little bit extra cash here and there. And I will say thank you very much for watching. As always, do like, do subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you've been up to this week, and I will see you in the next Storm of Steel video.